Welcome back to another episode of That Don't Sound Right, a podcast about talking. We're your co-host. I'm Peter Billman.
I'm Cecil Davis.
And we're just trying to have that conversation without Googling or fact-checking each other. Those things can so easily kill the conversation.
You killed the conversation this week?
I have not. I've had some continuations of conversations.
So we've had on the show?
I've had some suggestions for the show, and we'll do that. I think we're going to do that next week.
Oh, nice.
We're going to do this next one next week. And I've been thinking through our conversation for our 4-year anniversary.
David, my cousin,
the
official haberdasher of That Don't Sound Right, he is actually listening to all the episodes again, start to finish.
He's going back,
He's
really?
going all the way back. And so this week he was up to when I almost went to prison for violating the leaf ordinance.
So that was episode 47.
Yeah.
So what are you in for? Is that where he's at?
That's where he's at. He may be a little few. This was early in the week, so he may be further along.
All right.
So he's going back and listening to all the episodes again.
I'd love to hear maybe what his top 10 is.
Which medically we don't recommend because that has not been studied, the effect of
hearing our voice for 48 straight hours. Don't do it while driving either if you want to stay awake.
Right. Listening to all the episodes again.
So what don't sound right this week, Cecil?
You had asked me about this, and I had forgotten all about this part of my life. But were you ever a resident assistant, RA, in any of the dorms you stayed in?
Oh, no, I never was. I never was an RA. No, I never was.
And Beth and I are slightly removed from college now, right?
Slightly.
But I'm assuming they're still resident assistants.
30-some years. Yeah. No, I was in the ROTC, so it was a little bit different. Different atmosphere. Every upperclassman was an RA.
Right.
Right.
You had to salute, right? You had to
we had to salute.
You had to obey orders from them, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you became a sophomore, you were somewhat of an RA. You kind of were assigned a couple of the freshmen, and you were in charge of there. And then
for the ROTC guys.
Yeah.
So you were in an ROTC dorm.
Right. And so we lived, breathed ROTC all the time. But clearly, I know what resident assistants are.
Yeah. So you had RDs.
But I never really knew. So you were one.
Yeah. So you had RDs, like the resident directors, and that was usually like a semi-responsible adult that was living in the dorm. Sometimes it was like an adjunct professor or
someone who lost a bet.
Someone who lost a bet, maybe an unmarried professor or something like that who didn't mind living in a smaller space. And then you had the RAs, which were typically students, sometimes upperclassmen, that were over one or two hallways.
Right. But you could be sophomore too, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure when you could become an RA. I was an RA when I was in pharmacy school. So I would have been in what would typically have been my upperclassmen years if I was on the regular track.
So how does pharmacy school work? Do you not do a typical 4 years of undergrad and then go to pharmacy school? How does it work?
So pharmacy school is whatever it takes for you to get in, and then the program's at least 4 years.
Okay.
So the typical program's 4 years now. Yeah. So you did your undergrad and then whatever it took to get into pharmacy school. So
you do 4 years of undergrad.
You could,
and then you do 4 years of pharmacy school.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, I did a little faster than that. So.
All right.
Yeah, but I was an RA when I was in pharmacy school. Mainly, so there were some perks to being an RA, right? You could have your own room.
Right.
Sometimes they would give you you didn't have to pay for your room.
Right. So it's your own room.
You're right. You had a private room. You had to pay for it. You got paid. You had a stipend,
and they gave you food on top of that. I mean, they gave you money on top of that.
Yes, they gave you. You got paid a certain amount. Now the downsides were, you had to enforce the rules of the dorm, and you had to work like one weekend every quarter or something.
Like down at the front office.
We just had to stay on campus. No, you had to stay on campus one weekend and be like in charge of the whole dorm. Like you were the RA on duty for a weekend.
Okay.
Which that was when some of the. So tonight's topic, the thing that doesn't sound right, it was just some of the things that I did as an RA that I now think back on and probably shouldn't have survived.
You shouldn't have survived?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So let's get an age of you. So you did how many years of undergrad?
Yeah, so this would have been like this would have been my junior year.
Okay.
So this was my P2 year, second year in pharmacy school.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'd been like guess that'd been like my junior. Well, no, it'd been like my senior year in college.
All right, so that's been you've been in school for 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
Okay.
So I decided.
So
to be
you're pretty mature.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty mature. All right. So the first time I decided to become an RA,
and wise.
Yes,
right.
I was the RA of just the pharmacy dorm, or we had a pharmacy hall.
Really?
A couple of pharmacy suites in a dorm.
Okay.
And so I was the RA for a couple of those suites.
I would think it's very serious students in there.
And they were fairly serious students. We really didn't have a lot of run-ins. In fact, I really only had one run-in with pharmacy students one night, and that was as much my fault as it was their fault. And it was very, very minor compared to other things that happened. But
all right.
I did try to take, what I did seriously. So for when I had just the pharmacy guys, it wasn't a problem. But I then in my second year of being an RA, I was over like the entire floor of the dorm, which included pharmacy students and non-pharmacy students, and the civilians. And this became where it got a little dicey.
All right. So give me an idea how big is this dorm? How many floors and how many rooms or people are in this floor?
Yeah, so this was a 3-story dorm. I was over the 3rd floor. Okay. There was probably 10 suites, so 40 rooms, maybe
40 people.
Yeah, 40 people.
Okay.
And I was trying to do a good job. So we were.
You seem very responsible.
Very responsible. So I remember that when it was my turn to do dorm inspections.
I took that
very seriously. Yeah.
You did dorm inspections?
Yeah, so at Campbell there were rules about what kind of posters you could have up, what you couldn't have alcohol on campus.
White gloves?
That sort of thing. Yeah, go around and you would
it's a little dusty here.
Dusty. No. So you would make sure everybody was obeying and so I took that seriously, and I would go around and you would have to knock on everybody's door and check their room.
Okay. Standards of conduct and decorum.
Yeah. And so they had these sets of things that you were kind of looking for, because Campbell had certain rules for that.
Was it a long list? Was it a long list of rules?
No, mainly it was that you couldn't have alcohol on campus. That's what I think they were most concerned about. So as long as there was no visible alcohol,
right,
they were usually okay. But I remember one night, and this was after I had been an RA for a while. I was standing out on the balcony where we're 3 stories up, standing out on the balcony. And a guy comes out of one of the suites, and he is carrying a trash can full of beer cans. And so he pours them down the trash chute and then goes, and I stop him for some reason. And this is a big guy. And I said, hey, I'm the RA for the floor. I said, you can't be drinking on campus. And
so it's not just a dorm thing. It's a campus thing.
Yeah, you couldn't have alcohol. Okay. In fact, the county was dry.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Now there was plenty of alcohol around, but the county was dry. The school was supposed to be dry. And so this guy, he was a big guy. For some reason, I intercepted him as I was standing there. I said, hey, you can't be drinking on campus.
You took that cue from your dad.
What's that?
Standing up to a big guy.
Standing up to a big guy. So remember, I'm 3 stories up on a balcony when I'm talking to this guy.
Yeah.
And so he stops. It catches him off guard that I've said anything to him. And he stops for a minute and he says, are you being serious? I was like, yeah, I'm being serious. He said, are you joking around that you're the RA? And the guy next to me thankfully said, no, he's the RA for the floor. And he said, well, that's good. He said, because I was getting ready to throw you off the balcony. I was like, oh, well.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was pretty inebriated.
I was going to say, had he just recently emptied those beers?
Yeah, I think those beer cans had been
just about man.
But
did you feel in danger?
At that point, I did. At first, I thought he was going to respect the badge, and see that I was an RA. And but then I realized that I should not have intercepted this young man, and he was probably fully capable of throwing me off that balcony.
Help me understand the balcony. What was it over?
It's like an outside. So you would have an outside walkway that went into each.
You have outside doors to the rooms.
So the suites.
It's kind of like a motel.
Yeah. So the outside suite door opened out onto a walkway that was a balcony.
And that it was an outside entrance.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was older style dorm, and so they had this kind of intricate brickwork up the side that people would climb.
Also, probably not part of against the rules.
Against the rules, they would climb the brickwork to go up to the different balconies.
Man,
which was probably not wise. particularly wise either. But the night I really think I'm surprised I escaped was for some reason we came back early.
Well, hold
one
on,
day.
hold on.
Yeah.
So how did this conversation with Beer Man end?
He actually ended up being very respectful and just he said okay and went. I mean, I didn't hear any noise. There was no other
Okay.
evidence of the party, and so he didn't threaten me anymore. And he went
So
back
he was thinking that if you were faking it,
yeah,
he was going to throw you off the balcony.
because I had surprised him just enough that he was not happy with that.
Oh yeah.
But one night we
did you write him up?
No. I never wrote anybody up.
Really?
No.
Why not, Cecil?
I just felt like if you said, hey, if there was, I felt like there should be a mutual respect about the RA thing.
Okay.
So if I said, hey, you've got beer, just get rid of it. And then as long as you told me you were going to do it, I trusted you to do that. Right. And I knew that you were lying to me and you knew that you were lying to me, but I had done my job and you had done your job. And so,
all right.
Yeah. But one night we had come back early, the pharmacy students had, and the basketball team was back on campus early.
Okay.
And I was in charge of the dorm that night. And they were
with the basketball team.
With the basketball team.
You're in charge of the whole dorm.
I'm in charge of the whole dorm.
Because it's your weekend.
Yeah, but the only people there are me and a few pharmacy students that are upstairs. And on the first floor, the basketball team is having a blowout.
Oh, really?
Big party.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And to the point that I was like, I was not going to do anything, but it got to the point where I really couldn't ignore it.
Okay.
Like if they just kept it under control, but like stuff was starting to be thrown off balconies, like there was a mattress that went flying out from somewhere, even though the party was on the first floor, it's starting to spill out into the courtyard. It's getting loud. It's getting out of hand. So
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What is your training? How they train you for being an RA? And
I mean, that's funny.
You have training, I'm sure, for encountering one person who's inebriated.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure they've given you some training how to address a large group that's being rowdy. What kind of training kicked in here?
They did bring you back to campus like 2 or 3 days early for training.
Right.
But most of it, you weren't. They weren't paying it. No matter how they trained us, they weren't paying us enough to like do anything that's going to get us hurt.
Sure.
And then we had campus police too.
Well, okay, yeah. So, at what point do you call campus police?
I should have called prior to walking down to this party. That's what I should have done.
Okay.
But I didn't.
This is one of the that don't sound right parts.
Yeah. I still can't. I still would like to know what was going through my head at this point in time because I go downstairs. And this is a big party with a lot of the popular people on campus are there. And I walk in, a pharmacy nerd, and
the RA with your badge.
Yeah, and I'm having to walk into like a sea of people, like they're jammed in this little hallway.
Yeah,
and so I'm trapped. Like there's a lot of people between me and any exit. And I knew one of the basketball players. I knew the main basketball player, and I went up to him and I said, "Hey, y'all need to shut the party down." And he looked at me like, "You're insane." And I'm at this point, I realize what I've done. That I've now trapped myself in this this area, and I'm telling people that are bigger than I am and a team that works together as a unit to shut this party down.
Yeah.
So I'm now thinking, and so he and I kind of exchanged some words. And then, thank God, I said, I'm gonna call the coach. And when I said that, for some reason,
the coach,
and I forget the coach's name. He was well respected. He was well liked.
But that's a different story.
That's a different story than security.
I'm calling security. I'm calling the cops. Man, I'm calling the coach.
I said, I'm calling the coach. I'm thinking in my head,
dude, that was brilliant. Was that in the training?
No, I'm just
that
saying
should be in the training.
This was God given at this moment because I'm sitting there. I realize what I've done. I realize how deep I'm into this.
Call the coach.
And we're like squared up. And I just said, and I think I may have even said, if I get out of here,
if I get out here alive,
I'm
calling the coach.
I'm calling the coach.
Whoa!
And I have never seen a party shut down. It was like magic words. I mean, it shut down.
Whoa.
Immediately. And then the crowd parted enough and I got as far away from that situation as I could get as quickly as I get. But I didn't hear another peep out of them the whole night.
I really think you need to do a couple of Instagram shorts and some reels where you briefly just give some RA words of wisdom.
Yeah.
And the coach one, that's going to go viral.
I'm just telling you,
if you got a problem with the sports team partying too much at your place,
right?
Don't call the police. Don't threaten to call the security.
Right.
Threaten to call.
Yeah, as soon as I said that, it was like
unless the coach is at the party,
right. Yeah, that was
no.
As soon as I said it, it was
brilliant.
Yeah, and they shut it down.
How did that come to your head?
I am telling you, man, it was God given. I was like, this was the moment where I'm sure they were deciding what they were getting ready to do with me.
Right.
And I was thinking about how I need to get out of this.
Right. They were looking for the duct tape.
Yeah, they were looking for the duct tape, and they were filling the toilet up, and it was going to be a long night.
Yeah.
But that's that was the biggest one. The other one was a guy had a python.
Now, is this against the
covenants? I think this is probably against some state laws
regulation?
too. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, can you have a pet?
You couldn't have a pet. You definitely couldn't have a python.
What about?
Well, you know what? I take that back. I can't say for sure that there was a rule, but our RD at the time hated snakes.
Okay.
And so he found out.
So there's now, how did you get along with the RD?
Oh, it was great. He was a super great guy. Yeah. So the RD hated snakes. And so we were having the RA meeting one night, and he said, I know there's this python in the building.
Oh, wow.
And he said, I don't know who has it. I don't know which floor it's on.
How does he know?
He'd just gotten around that the
word was word around that someone had a python.
And I knew who it was. I knew who had the python. Yeah.
Okay.
And he so he said, I hate snakes. I hate it. He said,
Who's he, Indiana Jones?
I don't know. He just hated it. He said, if I find the python, I'm going to kill it.
Oh.
This was like,
that's someone's pet, man.
Yeah, this is strong words. Of course, this was again in the late 80s, early 90s.
We used strong language then.
Right, yeah. It was a little different world. I didn't say anything. I just sat there.
I feel like we would still say, I'm going to kill that python if I see it.
He was serious. I mean, this was a guy that we cut up with a lot. And he was like, if I catch the python, I'm going to kill it. And I was like, okay.
So noted.
So we let out.
I mean, you knew who it was.
I knew it was. And so again, this was how I
did he ask? Did he go around and say?
I don't think he went around and asked.
Do you know who it is?
Yeah, I don't think he asked. But I didn't say anything during.
All right, you were going to volunteer.
Yeah. And so this is how I typically RA'd was that. And the next day I went and found the guy. It's like, hey, I said, the RD knows there's a python in here. I just want you to know, I don't care, but he is going to kill it.
if he finds
it. So the safest place for that python is not in this dorm.
Yeah.
So again,
because
the next move was
he could do a pop inspection, and there it is.
Yeah, there it is. He was going to kill it.
Yeah,
absolutely. So those were the two probably biggest. The breaking up the party was the stupidest thing I did.
You really think it was stupid?
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
What could they really do to you? I mean, they would get in so much trouble if they harmed the RA.
I don't know.
They would get in so much trouble with their coach if they did something to the RA.
You would think. You would hope. But in the moment.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going through your head.
I mean, they could have done some humiliation. They could have done some humiliation. There's some humiliation that could have been involved.
Yeah. So that was
that is true, thing. But they really probably would not have hurt you. They would.
The other thing we did, and this was more self-preservation. So we did have a fire alarm puller for a while.
Did you?
Yeah, and he was doing it like 3 or 4 in the morning, waking the whole dorm up. And this was getting to be a little.
Did you know who it was?
Well, me and another RA decided we were going to put an end to it. And so we stayed up a couple nights and we figured out about who it was. And we did get security involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, but that was just because everybody in the dorm was mad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was only a 3-story dorm. My daughter lived in a 12-story dorm in Richmond, and they had these 2 a.m. fire alarms.
Yeah.
And the whole building empties out, and then it takes forever for everyone to get in because you got to badge in. Yeah. These days, you got to badge in one at a time.
Yeah. So it's So we stayed up. No, but I think we were heroes for doing that. We weren't reviled for doing that. We were. putting a stop to that guy was beneficial to the whole dorm.
Yeah, you did your job.
I did my job.
That was one rule you were going to enforce.
The other thing is that you got a free phone.
Really?
Now, I know that sounds funny to our
Wait,
younger.
what time? Wait.
This is when you had to have a physical phone line. Like there's no cell phones.
Right. Okay.
And so instead of, I don't know if you like remember in the dorm, you had to like call the phone company and get the phone set up in your dorm.
In our dorm, with the phone was
it's part of the dorm.
It's all part of the, all part of the dorm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a free phone that I could use.
Oh, because you had to get your
set
up.
RA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I could use the Watts line, which again, some of our listeners aren't going to listen to this. Yeah.
What's a Watt? Let's go ahead and explain a Watts line.
So a Watts line is essentially an 800 number.
Okay.
It was a free. So if you had the Watts line, you could call in for free.
Okay.
And you didn't have. And again, I know that some people are listening the long distance charges, but
right.
In the day you waited till after 9 o'clock to call anybody because the rates were down and you got charged per minute. But I had the Watts line as an RA, so friends could call me from out of state.
Could you call out on it?
I could call out on it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
For free.
For free.
Yeah, that's a pretty big. That's another pretty
big benefit. Yeah.
Man.
So there you go. There's the that don't sound right moment of stupid things I did as an RA. Things that don't sound right that I did as an RA.
Right. Well, hey, if this is your first time listening or watching us on YouTube, please consider hitting that subscribe button, especially if you like the conversation. Also, tell some other folks if you liked it. If you're that long-time listener or long-time viewer, please leave us a review or give us a rating so others can easily find us and join the conversation.
All right. That Don't Sound Right is a production of TDSR Podcast in conjunction with Campbell City Studios. I'm your host and sound engineer, Cecil. Peter's your other host and your web designer, and also your YouTube producer now.
Here we go.
Credits. Camille's our barista. Emily is our graphic designer. Ella does our Instagram. Giorgio tests our merchandise. Brent is our international brand ambassador. And as always, listener number one is Scott. So until next week, keep talking.
And stay curious.